If you just follow him around for like 5 or 10 minutes, you'll get someone asking him about his height. The first time that I thought we'd really have something, Fran and I were sitting together in our old office. We were looking at some data we got from one of our early customers. This was the first time we ever looked at any efficiency data. Customer's been live for a couple months. The data could be great, it could be terrible. I got a pivot table together for that data. It was all positive across the board. Every single metric, 20, 30, 40% efficiency improvements. And we looked at each other and we're like, holy shit, it works. Then we just kind of went from there.
As a CX team, we don't have credibility with the customer base just yet. If we can nail this and actually get that credibility, the sales numbers will follow so quickly. Like the cross-sell, upsell opportunities will be enormous.
We have the QR code scanner. She's testing that. I think Stoller made those updates. We should be in a much better place there.
People sometimes don't have a clear answer, and so for us, now we can hone in on these specific things as opposed to just throw you a menu of options that maybe help or maybe don't.
What you guys are doing is driving at everything that we're trying to accomplish. The hard part is that there's not a ton of knowledge internally about how to put this to use.
We have our hands full, which is fun.
No, it's great.
If my friend Matt was one thing, it's data. So
That's very true. There's a very steep learning curve and user education that has to happen when we talk to our clients. And so getting that philosophical alignment early on in the sales process is key. And when we don't get it, it's very frustrating because we see the vision. How do they not see the vision?
Right now we're seed stage, so we're trying really hard to prove out that we can grow. The customers that we have absolutely love our product, so the product market fit is there. Now it's just a matter of how many people we can get to and in what time.
we're very focused on D2C and retailers, selling a physical product, and we want to focus on there and make sure that they're maximizing the engagement with their customers and they are taking action on customer feedback.
We have a lot of good signals that are telling us there is product market fit. And the challenge is really, we basically have to change the whole narrative around surveys and NPS and how things have been done for 20 plus years.
Our target customer, a lot of them are being pushed towards like simple AI chatbots that are going to do as much as possible, just like deflect customer interactions and make things easy and cheap for them. And it's a challenge to convince them that in the long run, like what we're doing is actually going to help you a lot more.
You've got to find those people that want innovation, they want to adopt it. We said Hark is the best medium to collect this data. We're collecting it. And those were just like low-hanging fruit to say, you're doing it this way, just do it through us. The worst you're going to have is the same response rate with a little bit more context. It's no coincidence that some of the biggest thought leaders in the D2C space use Hark. They're willing to go say to their boss, like, look, this is going to be a long tail effect and we're going to invest in this because this is going to help us in spades in the long term.
It's going to take time, and what we need to do is generate as much revenue as possible until that time when the user education piece clicks.
If we can do that, we'll be set up really well for success going into Series A.
When I first started working in tech, my mother would always be like, oh, don't you know how to fix a TV? I'm like, no, I'm not.
One of our investors, Stephan Cizmar, is coming up. He's an incredible mind, and we're going through about a 4 or 5 hour long workshop around strategy, go-to-market machine, how do we continue driving value for our customers, how do we take our story and put that out to the world.
I also have some additional context continuing the Series A conversation on examples of how companies in our portfolio where we directly have access to positions themselves going into a successful Series A.
What are the needs of our customers? What are the wants? What are the goals? How can we help drive more value in Q1? And how can we get enough confidence to say no to certain things? Like, that's really hard to do in a startup too.
You guys are going from, again, amorphous blob to now structure. Every company goes through that.
It's a startup, so everyone's in the weeds. Everyone's like deep into the product. How do you get people out to think more clearly about the future and take a step back, I guess, to take 2 or 3 steps forward? It's really, really hard to do in early stages. You feel like every moment is so precious.
Get in the habit of structuring process and structure now, because what are you doing? You're not building for the 30-person company.
No.
You're building for the 300-person company. You're building for you becoming an enterprise, you becoming a market leader.
This has been our theme. How do we get to the point where we say no?
We have a lot of super smart people, but there's only so few of them. You know, when somebody's paying such a large dollar amount and it's so impactful to your company, it's hard not to immediately just say, okay, yep, take these resources and help them fix the problem.
I said, drop everything today. We need this feature that's very out of scope. I would hope that you run it through some sort of internal business case.
Yeah.
My recommendation is to simplify it and run it this way, because there are times where you do have to bend backwards and completely steer the ship in one direction. But if you do that too many times, what you get is a non-linear journey.
Yeah.
You know, and you basically lose momentum.
It's just interesting the balance between like, we have this revenue goal that we want to hit,
Yeah.
and then also staying on track with the product. So finding that balance between like, the example, for example, is really interesting.
The venture community will say, like, you gotta hit like revenue targets, blah, blah, blah. That's all fine and dandy, but like, again, I can tell you firsthand, I've been there where founders and executive team at Encore that said yes to everything, and it ended up tanking the company.
Yeah.
We were on an IPO trajectory, and the wheels came off completely.
Yeah.
And what we had at that point was unscalable unit economics. We became a services shop basically for our end customers.
Yeah.
With the pace of technological change and AI and everything else, like if you don't innovate, you're going to die. And so like we live that every day.
All we're trying to do now is position ourselves in the best place so that the decision is fairly easy for investors.
I think this round should be a lot easier. You don't think so?
Naturally.
I think it's going to be harder because the stakes are so much higher. It's
Yeah.
like, okay, if we fail, like we're all hungry. Like, I don't know.
My vision is quite large for this. But if I do what we think we can do, we would really just be getting started. Like we would be changing an entire market dynamic, which is scary, but super exciting. That's why we're here.